So hi everyone, the Good Noise Podcast are here with How I Became Invisible. We're going to ask some questions today about their new album, The Wave Returns to the Ocean. I'm going to start, so congrats on that album, by the way. How do you feel about the response to the album so far?
Oh, well, thank you. So far, it's been pretty good. People have responded well to it. No one said anything bad about it. That's positive. Yeah, no, I've been pretty happy with it so far. For a small release by an artist no one cares about or listens to, I feel pretty good about it.
All right.
Good. That's always good.
I don't know if you watched us talk about the album, but I did talk about that opening track with like the waves and whatnot. I want to ask, what was the idea behind that?
So that happened because I believe I announced my intention to put this album out on your show last time we talked.
So.
I had a completely different conception of what it was going to be at that point. And then in kind of finishing out the recording, I had spent a couple days at the shore, the Jersey Shore. My mom had a beach house for a week, so I spent a couple days there with her and my sister. And the night I went down there, it was like that weird, like, you know when you go to the shore and it's like foggy, but like it was raining, but it stopped raining, but it still feels wet everywhere.
Yeah.
It was like that. So I was walking up to sit by myself on the beach, and just I was going through some stuff, and the noise of the ocean and just like the ambiance was like, okay, I need to record this. So I just started recording using my the voice recorder on my phone. I recorded like, I want to say like 5-10 minutes just of wave sounds.
Okay.
And I had the phrase "the wave returns to the ocean" kind of written in my phone from when I watched the Good Place finale, and like a bunch of stuff came together at the same time, and that kind of informed of how I wanted to build everything together to fit the theme and the ideas that I was kind of putting together about transition and inclusion, I guess, that we're all part of like one big cycle, one big I don't know how to explain it without getting into like weird religious stuff, which I'm super not religious at all. So I don't know. It was it all just kind of came together and made sense in my head at the moment.
Okay.
So I kind of interspersed it throughout the album. Like it's there at the beginning, like you said, there's a little bit in another one of the instrumental tracks, and towards the end, and also in the title track, there's some wave sounds as well.
Okay. Mm-hmm. It is definitely one of the most interesting ways I've heard an album open this year, so it like caught my attention right away, and I had to ask you. So
the guitar part too, that's actually a reference back to my first solo album, which was 7 years ago, called Planetary. The guitar part is like not exactly the same, but it's very close to apart from that album because it was planetary. For each song was about a planet. That it references Uranus, which I felt is kind of like a more watery type sound.
Yeah. Okay, that's really cool. I like that. So, what was your writing process like for this album, actually?
Kind of all over the place. Some of the songs, well, let me think. One of the songs is actually like 15 years old.
Wow.
I wrote it like years ago. Like I have a backlog of songs going back to like 2001.
Oh my God.
I can routinely just go into be like, okay, I should finish this one out. And most of them are terrible. A lot of them are like, I hate George Bush or something like that. So there's a song I pulled off that like kind of fit it was Constellation Prize. That's the oldest one on the record. And the rest of them I kind of wrote as I was going. So like I had really no conception of doing a full length up until about June. I'm going to say maybe end of May, beginning of June. And I like had been talking to the guitar player for the band I play bass for, Take Today. And I was saying like, oh, well, I just finished this EP and I got this single I put out. And like, I don't really know what I'm going to do. I should probably take a break. And then after I started talking to him, I went back in the house and said, wait, I have like a whole bunch of songs I've written. I could do an album.
Yeah, just drop them
So
all.
instead of taking a break, I just recorded a full length instead.
Why not?
Yeah,
Why
of
not?
course. Just quick full length.
This is quick full length,
And
exactly.
it's not like a short full length either, right? It's past 10 tracks. So it was
Yeah, it was 13. 13
yeah,
tracks.
like
13, yeah.
it wasn't just like, a quick 9-track album, fucking 13 tracks long.
Exactly.
So you did already answer this first part of the question, what song took the longest to write, but I want to ask what your favorite is.
Hold on, let me look at the track list. My favorite song, I don't know. Wow, I forgot I made a playlist, so like all this stuff's in my phone. I want to say "Drunk in a Wizard Bar with My Boyfriend," just because it's a fun song, and that was like my idea of like what a lead-off single for the album would be. Even though like 3 of them came out before then, but
Okay.
we'll just say it's the lead-off single.
Okay.
Okay.
But no, that one I've liked that one a lot, and "Almost Human," which I originally released in a single. When did that come out? April? I think that came out April or May. I did a 3-song single which was called "Topside" and "Almost Human," and it was 3 songs. First song was "Topside," second song was "End," third song was "Almost Human," and that was kind of where the germination of what the album was going to be came from.
Oh.
Where, the idea of we're all almost human, we're all almost who we want to be, and kind of through that song is me like explaining like, this is who I want to be.
Yeah. Oh, that. So, where was your headspace while creating this album?
That's difficult to explain. The album is explicitly and about transition, about me coming out as trans. I'm trans non-binary, and it's about dealing with that both with myself and with others. And a lot of other stuff came into it along the way, like the stuff about being in quarantine, about all the insane stuff that's happening throughout the world right now.
Yeah.
And that had been happening since, I want to say about 4 years ago. Probably further back than that. But let's just say November 2016 is where shit really popped off. And kind of processing all of that through the lens of, I don't know who I am, I don't know who I want to be, and I have to figure that out. And then like some other stuff happened while I was recording the album, which kind of informed it a little bit, but not too much. I don't really want to feel comfortable talking about that right now.
That's all right.
No, it's a lot about, like I said, I keep saying transition. That's the important. That's like the code word, I think, for the album. It's transition through just transition through phases of life, transition through time, I guess. Transition through relationships. Just also basically everything is about movement. Everything is about change, and all these songs are in one way or another about accepting change and trying to work with it instead of fighting it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow, you said like movement and change, and it's like the album name and album cover, like the tide's always moving, like constantly. That's really cool. I don't know. That's...
No, that's definitely it.
So this question should be like super, super quick off the top of your head. I want you to describe this album to new listeners in 3 words.
Emotional pop punk nonsense.
Okay.
So we'll just make
Wait, I think pop punk is
Yeah,
pop
pop
punk
punk
is
is
one word.
hyphenated. So
Yeah.
technically.
Okay.
I
Makes
really
sense.
thought you were gonna go. What was it? Movements.
Transitional.
Transitional
Yeah.
and change or whatever you'd said there.
Yeah.
I mean, that would also work as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fine.
I forgot
So-
the transition a lot. I should say something different.
Okay.
It's fine. So, is there a certain feeling you want your listeners to have while going through this album?
Yeah, I've been talking to some people lately about the concept of love and how love is inherently sad a little bit, like just a little bit of sadness. Like if you love something, there's a little bit, just a sliver of sadness in there, and I kind of want that to be the emotion. Just that like, you can love something, you can like something, you can think something's the best, but there's always that little bit of, like, bittersweet to it that it's not permanent. Like, nothing is permanent. Everything is in a state of transition. Everything's moving, everything's changing. So you have to hold on to the good parts of what you have and accept that it's not always going to be there, and accept that there's always going to be a little bit of sadness in there. But that doesn't make it bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Wow. I like that. Yeah.
So what band or artist influences do you think you can hear the most on this album?
100% Alkaline Trio, because I've been listening to a lot of Alkaline Trio for the last year or so. And they're always, like, been a big influence on my songwriting. I mean, I don't want to talk out of school, but the opening of Drunk in a Wizard Bar is straight up just an Alkaline Trio ripoff riff.
All right.
It's like, okay, it's an open A, and he plays some stuff over the chords over it. Then yeah, that's a Matt Skiba riff.
I mean, at least you're owning it.
Exactly.
Oh
you're
yeah,
owning it.
I forget who said it, but it's like, what is it? Good artist copy, great artist steal, I think was the quote.
Okay.
He said Alkaline Trio, Lawrence Arms. They're one of my favorite bands, and their new record that came out this year has been, like, one of my favorite. I listen to it at least. It was at one point every day, and now it's been like every couple days I'll listen to it because it's really, it grabbed me by the throat.
Right.
And the Wonder Years, because I love them. They're my favorite band, and I can't not. Even if I try not to sound like that just the emotional pop punk emo, whatever you want to call it, mixed with, like, just a sense of, like, truth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wrote a review for a defunct website back when The Greatest Generation came out, and I said that the Wonder Years have a universal specificity, where, like, all the songs are about things that are very specific to Soupy and very specific to his life and his experience and where he grew up. Like, they name drop, like, specific streets in Philly, but you get the idea of how it relates to you, even if those don't describe your direct experiences.
Yeah.
So I kind of try to aim for that now. Where before I was very much like, space, it's all about space and also me, but no space. Now it's just like, nah, get rid of the space stuff.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
that's solid. All right. So we won't be seeing space in the next record?
Oh no, you probably will.
Okay,
This will only be like a song. Like, even this has, like, a song about parallel universes on it. I just can't help doing that. But it's not
It's your brand.
It's not going to be the whole thing. Oh,
Yeah,
it's definitely my brand.
Mm-hmm. Solid. So how did you choose the track listing order for this album? Did you, like, spend hours nitpicking, or did you just kind of shuffle it and say, oh, looks fine?
I am the type of person who spends hours. Track lists are, like, the flow of an album is important to me. The story it tells is important to me. Mm-hmm. So, like, I agonize over. I do this with every band I'm in, other than Take Today. I tend to be the one who, like, arranges, like, where things go, and I cannot not make it a story. So, whereas something like Unidentified, which was my last full length, was in my head, there is this continuing story from the first thing I ever put out to now through all my releases, and no one's ever going to understand it because it doesn't really make that much sense. Mm-hmm. But to me, the first album I did was Planetary. That's, like, you know, all the planets, and you go beyond that, it ends. The secret track is Pluto. The next thing I did was Voyagers, which was an instrumental EP about the two Voyager satellites, Voyager space probes, and how, as they get farther apart, they lost contact, and it's supposed to be kind of, like, about loneliness and connection. And then at the end of it, the last song transitions from electronic back into, like, live instruments. And in my mind, that was, like, going to the real universe. And then the next album was about aliens looking down on Earth and seeing all these different people and their connections and trying to make sense of what humanity is, which then transitioned into this, which is me making sense of what humanity is. So the story kind of suggested to me where the track should go. So, like, I did move things around a lot while I was tracking it and trying to figure out what went where. There's a song I wrote and recorded, and it's done, that I actually took off the album, which is called Not My Exit. That was it ended up being on a compilation that came out when did that come out? July, August, something like that.
Mhm.
I'll end up putting it as like a B-side or a single on my own at some point. But it said the same thing as a couple other songs on the album already did. So I'm like, I already said this. I should not have it on there more than once, if that makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay.
God, galaxy brain. I can't.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I want to leave it with this question here. Any upcoming projects? I feel like you're always doing something. So
That is a fair assessment.
Yeah.
I started I was laughing about this because I put the album out and literally like 2 days later I started recording an EP.
Oh my god.
But I backed off of that because I was like,
okay.
at this point, without getting into specifics, it's a multiple choice EP, in that since it's based very heavily in what I'm experiencing in my life, more so than maybe anything else I've ever done, it's not finished, and it can't be finished for a while. I'm like half done it at this point. Like I have 3 songs like pretty much completely recorded, then I said, you know what, I'm going to stop this. Mostly I'm just screwing around. I like have a list of covers I want to do. I'm doing kind of I don't know what we're calling it. It's like a group comp, I guess, with Nick from Blue Vines, a couple other people, Big Aluminum, St. Judas, and was it Sad Act, and I think a couple other people, and we're all doing covers and playing and singing on each other's covers. So like I did all the music for an Alkaline Trio song that Nick from Blue Vines is singing on. Someone's covering a Bayside song that I'm going to be singing on, and like we're all just kind of doing stuff with each other. I don't know what we're doing with it. I don't know when it's coming out. I don't know how it's coming out, but it's fun. It's just a fun thing to do, I guess.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the next How I Became Visible official release is going to be, but that's what we're doing now. The band I played bass for, Take Today, we did a 24-hour single. We actually did, I don't know why they keep coming up, I did an Alkaline Trio cover. But we recorded these like 5 years ago, because we did a Halloween set in 2015 where we only played Alkaline Trio songs and like dressed in like priest outfits with like the cool makeup and stuff. So apparently the drummer did like the drums for all those tracks back then, and we've been finishing them while we've been quarantined. And that's supposed to come out in, I think, 11 days, but I don't know if it is, because I haven't gotten any vocals to mix yet.
Oh god.
And so I don't know what's going on with that. And we're actually just about to go into a studio to finish out some stuff we started back in January. So I don't know when that's coming out, but that might be out before anything I do until it became visible.
All right.
All right.
But yeah, I'm keeping busy.
Very busy.
Yeah.
So that's all the questions we have for you today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
Yeah. You can go to my website, which is howibecameInvisible.com. That is where you'll find my new album, The Wave Returns to the Ocean, along with a whole bunch more music that I've put out over the last couple of years. A bunch of singles, a couple full lengths, a couple EPs. Like, I completely forgot. I put an EP out back in, was it March or April? Like a 6-song EP, and I just completely forgot about it.
Oh my god.
I'm so busy doing other stuff.
Yeah.
That was when it's called Before, and I took songs that I wrote, like, back in 2002, 2003, and, like, released with other bands, and just kind of redid them.
Okay.
So, taking a pop-punk song I wrote in 2003 and recorded it again now, but made it sound like a band from 2003, if that makes sense. So like a friend of mine who's in like a fairly big New York area pop band was like, this is the best starting line song I've ever heard. And I was like, I'll take that.
Yeah.
All right. That's a compliment. Well, thank you for sitting down with us. It's always a blast having you on this How I Became Invisible and We're the Good Noise podcast.